It is a small crew tonight, everybody. So the more you feel comfortable, the more we can be upfront and with each other, I think the better. Yeah, say hello to someone you might not know. Say Shabbat Shalom. How are you? Good. Hi.
Hi.
I'm not sure if
We've not met.
Great. I'm Rabbi Michelle. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm James.
Jamie. Awesome. Have you been at Shabbat before?
Yes, the last month.
Yeah, the film straight
Yeah, but then I was here before and you weren't here.
That's great. You guys know each other before?
Yeah, I moved to DC in June from North Carolina. My sister lives here. So,
Really nice to meet you.
yes, that's lovely. We're roommates now. She just moved in yesterday.
How'd it go?
Wednesday. Well, it's been until 2 days, so everything is going fine so far. But we'll see what happens once we actually have to start putting these down. Yes. And yeah.
Well, I hope it all goes well. Hi, how are you? You can roll that smile face. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Shabbat Shalom. How are you? Shabbat Shalom. We're going to begin in song, and for those of you who know me, first of all, I'm Rabbi Eliana Fischel, and for those of you who know me, you know that my voice is nothing compared to our cantors or even our other rabbis, so please join with me in prayer and in song this evening as we celebrate Shabbat. We're going to start on page 10. Ma yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom. How lovely today is. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is really lovely to be here with all of you and those of us who are joining us over live stream. It's lovely to be with you virtually. And welcome. Welcome to Washington Hebrew if this is your first time, or if this is your home, welcome home. And welcome to your Shabbat, these 25 hours of rest and renewal and comfort and healing, and whatever it is that you need this week, you made it. You can take a deep breath and enjoy the song and prayer and community of Shabbat. If you notice that I'm on my lonesome tonight, it's just us. So would love to pray with you. Use your voices, join me in prayer, and we'll bring in Shabbat together. To bring in Shabbat, we increase our light and increase the warmth of Shabbat through our candles. And so I asked Rick Wohler to come on up and light our candles. Thanks, sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, it's matches?
They're easier.
If you say so. Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who makes us holy with mitzvot and commands us to light the Sabbath candles.
Amen. Thank you. With these lights, we use their warmth and join together in psalms of praise for God and for this day of Shabbat. We begin on page 12, Lechuna Ranana. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litzor Yishenu, Nikadma Fanav Betoda. Naria, Naria, Litzor Yishenu, Bizmirot Naria Lo. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. On the facing page, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, we sing out to God a new song each and every Shabbat. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Meyom Leyom Yeshuato, Sapru Vagoyim Kevodo, Bechol Ha'amim Niflotav, Ki Gadol Adonai, Hulal Meod, Norahu, Al Kol Elohim, Yadai, 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 We're at the bottom of page 17. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. We look up to God as if God is on a mighty hill. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kocho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kocho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kocho. We turn to page 20 and 21 for Lachado D, the centerpiece of our Kabbalat Shabbat, the centerpiece of our warm-up for Shabbat, in which we greet Shabbat as if Shabbat was a bride coming into our lives. We greet Shabbat physically. And so we'll do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we get to verse 9, we will rise, we'll turn towards the door and welcome Shabbat into our lives. At that moment, probably we'll welcome some people coming for Shabbat as well, and it'll be awkward and lovely and wonderful, and we'll all have a little giggle. So we join together for L'Chadodi on page 20. Yadadadadai L'Chadodi, Yadadadadai Likrat Kala, Yadadadadai P'nei Shabbat, P'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Shamor V'Zachor, B'dibor Echad, Hishmiyanu El HaMyuchad, Adonai Echad, Ushmo Echad, L'Shem Tiferet, Velitila, Yadadai, Yadadadai L'Chadodi, Yadadadai Likrat Kala, Yadadadai P'nei Shabbat, P'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Likrat Shabbat, Lechu V'nelcha, Ki hi mekor habracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh v'machshava techila, Yadadai, Yadadadai L'Chadodi, Yadadadadai Likrat Kala, Yadadadadai P'nei Shabbat, P'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, Hitoreri, Kiva Orech, Kumiori, Uri, Uri, Shir Daberi, Kevod Adonai, Alayich Nigla, Yadadai, Yadadadai L'Chadodi, Yadadadai Likrat Kala, Yadadadai P'nei Shabbat, P'nei Shabbat Nekabela. We rise. Boi v'shalom, Aterech Bala, Gam besimcha, Uv'tochola, Toch emunei, Am segula, Boi chala, Boi chala, Yadadai, Yadadadai L'Chadodi, Yadadadadai Likrat Kala, Yadadadadai P'nei Shabbat, P'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Yadadadadai L'Chadodi, Yadadadadai Likrat Kala, Yadadadadai P'nei Shabbat, P'nei Shabbat Nekabela. We turn to page 28 for our call to worship. Baruch Hu. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai. We turn to the top of page 31 for a prayer of creation. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And on the next page, page 32, a prayer for God's love upon us. Together. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. We're on 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha V'dibarta bam, b'shiftecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha. Leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liyot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. We turn to page 40 for Mi Chamocha, our people's song of freedom, as they said, crossing the Red Sea, witnessing that miracle. They declared, "Who is like you, Adonai?" Mi Chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha, Nedar Bakodesh, Nora Tehilot, Osei Fele, Nora Tehilot, Osei Fele, Malchutecha Ra'uvanecha, Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli, Anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Yai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. We're in the middle of page 43, a prayer for God's shelter upon us this evening. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We're on page 44. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. We turn to page 46 and rise for our central prayer, the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atarav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim Vechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha bal gevurot, umidom melech. Melech mimit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu Selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. We turn to the top of page 55, a blessing for Shabbat. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh, HaShabbat. On Shabbat, we take a moment as a community to share in our joys, to share in our simchas, and we take this moment when we do our prayer of thanksgiving, our prayer of gratitude, to do just this, to share a little bit of happiness, a little bit of joy that has happened in your life. Perhaps it was a birthday, an anniversary. I always add, I had a really good plate of French fries, whatever the joy is, big or small. We want to hear it. We want to celebrate with you. And the way I do this is after we hear this joy, we'll say together, Modim Anachnu Lach, which is we are grateful because when one of us experiences a happiness, we are in community, so we all experience that joy. Who has a simcha to share? You are ready, Joanne. Was that a hand?
Well, I wasn't going to, but I will.
Oh, it was a half hand. Well, now I'm calling you out. Go.
No, I had a wonderful birthday, and where I was, all of a sudden, there was a wedding, and I didn't know anything about my birthday. Suddenly, 90 to 100 people sang me happy birthday.
Oh, my goodness. So for a wonderful birthday, but also for a community that loves you and supports you, we'll say together, Modim Anachnu Lach. Other simchas, yeah.
My in-laws are currently arriving at our house from South Carolina, and that's not the simcha. The simcha is that after 8 years, I still consider it a simcha.
Goodness, I thought I was really nervous that the simcha was that you were here and not there. So what a blessing for in-laws that we love and family that we love. We join together, Modim Anachnu Lach. Other simchas, yeah, Tony.
Just celebrated the 30th anniversary this week.
Oh my goodness, Mazel Tov. For partners that we love, we say Modim Anachnu Lach. Yes?
Our granddaughter, who's a member of Washington Hebrew, is starting her junior year at Washington University and just moved in today.
Oh my goodness, Mazel Tov, and good luck to her on her first year of, or her this year of university. We join together, Modim Anachnu Lach. Other simchas, yes, Judy. Oh, we have a lot tonight. This is great.
After listening to you last week, you were so compelling with your story about Wegmans. I was there the next weekend.
And
I loved it.
oh my God. I'm not even going to try to wrap it spiritually. For Wegmans, let's say, Modim Anachnu Lach. Yeah.
My youngest grandchild started kindergarten today.
Oh, what a blessing for grandchildren everywhere, starting university and starting kindergarten and starting lots of different schooling. We say, Modim Anachnu Lach. I think I saw another one. Did I? Yes, please.
My grandson will be starting kindergarten as well.
Amazing. For lots of joy that we find in our grandchildren. Modim Anachnu Lach. Or my children. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
My granddaughter announced she's going to have her second child.
Oh my goodness. B'sha'a tova, may everything happen in good time and in healthy time. And for new life, we say, Modim Anachnu Lach. Any other simchas or joys to share? If it's your first time at Washington Hebrew, I'm going to call you out. Can you raise your hand? Is it anyone's first time at Washington Hebrew this evening? Anyone? Ah, wonderful. Well, for you to be here, we welcome you. And for new members and old members, we say, Modim Anachnu Lach. And for all of these miracles, big and small, we can join together at the bottom of 58. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. We know, of course, that as we gather in community and as we come here for Shabbat, that not all of us come in joy. That even if we do come in joy, we might also come in need of strength and in need of healing and in need of strength to care for someone else who needs healing. And so we think of people this evening who are in need of that healing, whether it's of body, mind, or spirit. If you're thinking of someone today who could use a little extra prayer from this community, I ask that you share that name out loud with our community at this moment. Yeah.
Aaron Davidson and Sue Spiegel.
Thank you.
Mary Jane Tracy,
Thank you.
Diane Gould. Arnold Singer, my brother.
Thank you.
Ken Warren.
Michael Rothschild, Alan Jacobs, and Peter Davis.
Thank you.
Naomi Lentil.
Lou and Zach Wiener. We join together for Mishaberach Birkat Holim, blessing for those who are ill and healing, on page 253. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misher Beirach Imotenu Mekor habracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. These few weeks leading up to Rosh Hashanah, which is a terrifying sentence to say, are known actually as the weeks of comfort, the weeks of consolation. The weeks from Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, to Rosh Hashanah are known as, there's 7 weeks in between them. They're known as the weeks of comfort. It also happens to be the weeks of the end of summer and the beginning of a new school year, end of fall. And so for our silent prayer this evening, if you don't have words in your own heart at the moment, I implore you to think about ways in which you have found comfort this week, or ways that you still need comfort in the Shabbat and in this week to come. Where is comfort in your life? Take a moment for silent prayer. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi, vehegyon libi lefanecha. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi, vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri vegoali, page 62. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri vegoali. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi, vehegyon libi lefanecha. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi, vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri vegoali. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri Vegoali. A Hasidic story taught and translated by the theologian Martin Buber. Those of you who study with me will have heard it before. Akhasid of the Seer of Lublin once undertook a fast from one Sabbath to the next. On Friday afternoon, he was overcome with such a terrible thirst that he thought he would die. He caught sight of a well and went to drink from it. But then he realized that his inability to hold out for just one more hour would undo the effort of the whole past week. He turned from the well and did not drink. Soon, pride stirred in him for his ability to resist the temptation. Becoming aware of the pride, he said to himself, better I should drink than have my heart filled with arrogance. He returned to the well, but as he bent down to dip his cup, he noticed that his thirst was gone. When the Sabbath began, he entered his teacher's house. Crossing the threshold, he heard his teacher call out, "Tinkering!" I first heard this story in a seminary class about Buber's work, The Way of Man. My professor, Rabbi Bernard Melman, translated and commented on this lesser-known project of Buber's. Clearly, this text was meaningful to him, and it would soon become my favorite go-to book for how to live a meaningful life. But that Thursday morning at 8 a.m., I did not get it. Why was this man fasting? Why could he not just make up his mind about a little bit of water? Once he did decide, why did his thirst disappear? How did this teacher possibly know more about what was in this man's head, what was in this man's heart, than the man himself? And finally, what was tinkering? There was a secret here, and I had not been let in. The teacher's ability to read this man's heart is a talent not even God possesses, perhaps. In this week's Parsha, Akev, Moses continues to recount the Israelites' journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. Moses commands the Israelites to remember that long way that your God Adonai has made you travel in the wilderness these past 40 years in order to test you by hardships, to learn what was in your hearts. God testing us by hardships is not a theology I love nor believe in. So I often skip over verses like this to find healing, comfort, and meaning elsewhere. But those last few words jumped out at me this week. God tested the Israelites to know what was in their hearts. Doesn't God know what's in our hearts? Is this text suggesting that God is not omniscient? A valid suggestion, but one that probably goes beyond most of our understandings of God's nature. A 14th century Spanish commentator, Rabbeinu Bachya, picks up on this discrepancy and elaborates. The word, a little Hebrew here, bear with me, the word leda'at, to know, is to be understood here as if the Torah had written lehodia, to make known. The message is to be radiated to the nations of the world. So these tests, according to Bachya, were not for God to know the hearts of the Jewish people, but rather for the hearts of the Jewish people to be radiated out to the nations of the world. Okay, I can be with him. I support Bachya's interpretation here, but I think he missed a step. Our tinkering student can help us explain how. The Israelites were once like this fasting student, going from here to there, unsure of the right path, unsure of the right decision, unsure of themselves. God put them on an elongated path, a path of wander, so that they would have to deliberately and with effort find their way. Each Israelite had to find his or her individual path, acknowledge that that path was right for them, and then keep walking. We have been there, unsure of a call we've made at work, unsure of the way we spoke to a loved one, unsure what our next step should be. Instead of acting on these insecurities, we just sit with them. We ruminate over them. We become paralyzed by them. We tinker. We act meaninglessly, feeling stuck, when instead we could decide. We could decide that that call at work was actually a bad one and work to fix it. We could be sure. We could be sure that we did all we could do and just let the rest go. We could display what is in our hearts to those we love so that no matter how poorly we act, they know clearly and definitively that we love them. When that student crossed the threshold into his teacher's home, his mind was still messy. He had set a goal earlier in the week to get closer to God, and instead he was consumed by questions of pride and ego. When the Israelites crossed the threshold to the promised land, they do not have these issues. They know who they are, they know the goals they want to attain, they know what is in their hearts. As we now cross the threshold into Shabbat, let's commit to deciphering our own hearts. Let us steer clear from the tinkering and the wandering. May we set a straight path to what we want and who we want to be. And let us be proud of that person. As we cross this threshold into Shabbat, let us not hear tinkering, but rather, may we hear the voice of our hearts pushing us intentionally forward. We think about a day in which our minds can be clear, a day in which we don't doubt ourselves, a day in which our hearts are clear to not just us, but radiated out to the world. And we say, Bayom Hahu. And on that day, the world will be one and God will be one. On page 282, we rise for Aleinu and these lines, Bayom Hahu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, la'ateit gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kachem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. We turn now to our moment of memory. We'll begin with a poem on page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. This evening, our Washington Hebrew community remembers Selma Abraham Miller, Minnie Abramowitz, Francis F. Abramson, Saul Elper, Roger Annenberg, Leo M. Baer, Miriam C. Baller, Robbie Banker, Anna Baum, Dorothy Sunborn Bennett, Harry S. Burton, William B. Blacklow, Hortense N. Blatt, Isidore E. Block, Honor Brody Bodis, Ruth S. Cohen, Aaron Dates, Jack L. Derzavis, Robert Deutsch, Bessie F. Ehrlich, Morris Fine, Yetta Fishman, Michael Fround, Eleanor F. Friedman, Herman Maurice Garnett, Elsia Klein Glosserman, Sophia Roos Gluckstein, Sarah Goldberg, Richard Greenberg, Gerald D. Grossner, Albert Grover, Dora Grubin, Lena Hartstall, Nisan Hess, Louis Hoffenmeyer, Esther Boxer-Horn, Werner R. Jacob, Alvin A. Jacobs, Gertrude Kasten, Bernard Katz, Lee S. Kaufman, Minnie S. Kern, Clara W. Kearns, Janet Collender, Estelle Kornhauser, Leo Krasher, Warren Creedman, Harriet Kreisberg, thank you, Herbert Lane, Benjamin Lebowitz, Francis Lukes Legum, John Siemens Levitt, Barney Levy, Bertha Stern Levy, Norman Liebling, Julius Mannheimer, Selma Abraham Miller, Francis P. Milton, Samuel D. Minster, Julius S. Nevieser, Alfred Pasternak, Louis Benjamin Pelsman, Arthur Ramo, Cullen J. Recht, Anita O. Reiner, Lillian Rosen, Edith Rosenbaum, and Robert Rosenthal, Raymond Irwin Sallin, Henrietta S. Saperstein, Arthur William Scharfeld, Joseph Schenek, Basil Schiff, Joseph Schiffman, Alexander Schulman, Ida K. Seidman, Abraham Scher, Greg A. Sherman, Moses Silverberg, Harold Landsberg Singer, Alan Seiner, Joel Ronald Schwartz, Sarah F. Sittner, Leonard Sorkin, Raymond Sterling, Ida Stone, Saul G. Tayshoff, Julian Tobias, Greta Wender, Lucille Winston, Elsie R. Wolfe, Bernard Buddy Wool, Ida F. Zeidman, and those recently laid to rest: Jane Marie Connor, Louis Nevins, Norma Lee Funger, Michael Schechter, Irving Warshaw, Robert Mendelson, Jillian Wiener, Lindsay Wiener, Joshua Fogel, Mark Nash, Lauren Goldfarb. If I did not say the name of your loved one, or if I mispronounced the name of your loved one, please share your name out loud. We turn to page 294 and rise as a community for Kiddush Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal vid Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach Yeruteh ve'amlich malchuteh, V'chayachon u'yomechon u'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudasha brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. And we say together, Amen. You may be seated. We have no youngins for Motzi today, so I think maybe Jaylee went to go get our challah. Great. So as she does, a few announcements, upcoming important things that are going on here at Washington Hebrew. As you know, Washington Hebrew's Board of Directors nominated Rabbi Shankman to serve as our 7th senior rabbi. Thank God. Thank you so much. A special members-only meeting will be held to vote on her nomination Thursday, August 25th. We do have a number of RSVPs, like we have a quorum for sure, but we want to hear your voice. We want you there. So please, you can attend by Temple or by Zoom, and you can vote at Temple or on Zoom, and we really encourage you to participate. Friday, September 9th, mark your calendars. We're doing a Welcome Home Shabbat. We want to see you. It's going to have something for every age in our congregation, Tat Shabbat, a musical service, a fair to tell you all about everything that happens here at Washington Hebrew, and it is nothing without you. So please join us. And finally, as I mentioned, the High Holy Days are just weeks away. You all should have gotten, if you're a member, you should have gotten in your emails ways to get tickets. If you're not a member, look at our website, and it'll have all the information there, or ask me or anyone here, and they can get you the information as well. Or become a member. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And I think that is all my announcements for this evening. We will join together in Kiddush and Motzi. Yeah. Kiddush can be found on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inhilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim. And we'll join together in Motzi for our challah and for our nosh outside. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We will conclude our service this evening the way we began. Ma yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom. How beautiful, how nice is it today, Shabbat, to be together in community and to welcome Shabbat with each of you. Ma yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. I'm so excited to greet you at Oneg.